Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome to the start of another Farming Simulator 17 map tour, and today we are looking at the highly anticipated South Mountain Creamery. This is the latest map from Blacksheep Modding, and it weighs in at just under 577 megabytes, so it's a pretty big sized file. And on top of that, it's also based on a genuine farm as well, a genuine location. So what makes this map a little bit different is that South Mountain Creamery is actually a dairy business. So this combines both a sort of a shop front with a business, although we don't generate any money from that, but we have a shop front and a business front to this location, and then we also have a farm that's kind of built into the back of that, and it's a really different experience. It looks really great, and we'll be able to explore that in just a second. But there is something else I want to point out as well. If you look on the sort of image that we see right in front of us, if you look on the left hand side above that barn building, you can see we have a crop dusting plane in the air. There are several of those that will just whiz across the sky from time to time. You don't really hear them, and they're pretty small, so you don't really see them in too much detail, but they are there and they do whiz through quite quickly. So it's just a little thing I wanted to point out in case we don't actually get to see one before I forget. But yeah, as I say, this is based on a genuine location. Let's jump in and we'll explore and go through that a little bit more in a little bit more detail. So this is where we start. We spawn right outside the shopfront of South Mountain Creamery itself. You can see we have our storefront just here. We've got some of our sort of company trucks just down the side. Obviously they're static props, we can't use those. But and then we have this sort of little rest picnic area over here as well. And you can see that we do have, I'm not quite sure how these managed to sneak through, but we actually do have some cans with the Coca-Cola logo on there. I'm not quite sure how they managed to sneak through, but we do have Coca-Cola available as a source of refreshment on this map. So one thing I want to say is about this map is, having had a look through it already, I love some of the attention to detail on this map. It is absolutely fantastic. In certain places there are things that just absolutely blew me away completely, and this storefront area is one of them. I love this as you spawn in. And look at that, we got a mouse. A little mouse just running around. That's the first time I've seen that. Oh, she's knocked over a churn. That's incredible. I'm going to follow this guy. I've never seen this before. He's still going. Oh, and he's gone where we can't follow him. Oh, that's a I have never noticed that guy before. That is absolutely hilarious. And he actually knocked over one of our milk churns as well. Wow. See what I mean? This map just blows me away with some of these little things that it throws in there. So here we go. This is the storefront. You can see we've got our opening times just here. Closed on Sundays because it's a day of rest. You can see we've got our prices just here. So we've got milkshakes, yo-yo shakes, creamsicles, and then ice creams with sprinkles if you want them. Samples available upon request. Ask us about home delivery, and please be aware that ice creams may have come in contact with peanuts or tree nuts. So if you're allergic, you can't come in. But here we go. We do have an ice cream store just over here. Nice freezer with a whole selection of different ice creams. You can see our storefront over here has some various different products on the shelves. As we move around, we have a drinks machine just there, and we have a very large drinks and yogurt selection just here as well. So a very well stocked little shop front. And again, we have our prices, we have our till point, we have a nice little South Mountain Creamery ice cream symbol there. I get the feeling that is actually from the genuine farm. I'll have to look into that. Let's make our way out from the welcome and goodbye mat. And we have, if we move around here, this is where we start to move into the actual business side of the farm. So we can come around here and you can see this is where we start to get our storage and access to our animals. So we've got a nice little storage bay here, which I think would be quite good for bales. but obviously it's up to you what you want to park in there. And just here, if you're wondering what this is actually the water trough for our cows. Now the cows will be sort of walking through this section here, and the watering can is kind of a hint as to what this is for. This is actually a water trough, so that's where we'll be depositing water to keep our cows nice and hydrated. Now we will find doors that will have these sort of yellow strips, yellow and black strips along the step. Just gives you an indication that they are actual doors that you can open. And this is obviously around the back of the shop. This is where we followed our little mouse a second ago. And we do have working lights in quite a lot of these locations as well. So you can see here we've got some interior lights for this shelter just here. But let's move on and carry on around here. We've got some storage just here. Now these doors are a little bit different, and they take time because you have to open them one at a time. You just hold your finger down and the whole animation goes through. It does one door, then it does the other door. So it will take a little while, but you can just hold your finger down and everything will open there. And another nugget in here, and we're going to get to 9 and stop, because as always I'll do the nuggets at the end of the video, so if you don't want to know where they are you can look away. And we've got this really nice kind of storage area in here. Again, we have some working lights, so it's nicely illuminated. A nice big storage area and 3 bays as well, so easy access for a variety of different machines to go in there. As we move around, you see the first of our equipment here is a small little Hurleyman Prestige, and we have the Breedle fertilizer spreader on the back. And those of you that played Green River will recognise these silos here. So we have a fertilizer silo here, which will do liquid and solid fertilizer. And then just here we have this silo here for your seeds. So you literally just drive up, park underneath, and you can refill anywhere within these checkboxes just here. As we move around a bit further, we've got our truck here. So this is kind of our farmhouse just here. You can see again we've got one of our delivery trucks just there. This is our own pickup truck, we own this. And then if we move around here, this is where our workshop is. So you'll recognise this as the sort of shell from the more recent storage building mod from Blacksheep Modding, with the scissor door at the front just here. So if we open the doors, there we go. And as you can see, this kind of backs into a little farm area here, which then goes back towards the yard. We do have a lift here, although as far as I know, does the lift actually go up? Oh, the lift does go up. So again, you'll recognise this. You know, we saw this on consoles first on Sussex Farm. It has now made its way onto this map as well. But you don't need to have it raised to be able to work your equipment. You can just drive it onto the ramp on the ground, and then obviously here you can then configure whatever you've parked in here. We move around a little bit more. You can see we have our nice little basketball court just there. We have some more storage over here. So we have a nice little scenic area with some bales in storage here. Obviously these are static, they're not genuine bales that we can use. A really old beaten up trailer that we can't use. But we do have a second Agro Star just here. I say a second because we have another one somewhere else on the farm. We also have this front weight. We've got double wheels on the back of this one, twins here, and we have this 6-meter Amazona cultivator as well. So a nice sized little cultivator there for our farm. And then this just takes us back to the main road, and you can see we have more storage on this side. Again, these are like the buildings we saw a moment ago on the other side. So double doors, lights inside, and I'm just going to grab that nugget as well. There we go. There are some nuggets that are clumped really close in certain locations. Other nuggets are a little bit more spaced out. But we'll see, as I say, we'll see those at the end. So that's our kind of storage area around this side of the farm. Let's go back now and take a quick look at the animals. So we kind of move around. We've got some more rusted out equipment lurking around here. And there's a lot of static machinery and static equipment that's on this farm. An awful lot as we move around. You'll see it in various different locations. So this is our pig area that we're coming up to here, first of all. So we have our manure pit for the pigs just here. We have our entry point for the pigs just here. And then as we swing around here, you can see we have a water trough just here. And then this box along the front here this is for our straw. So this is where the straw will spawn in this area, but this box along here, this is where we actually tip the straw. And again, we do have working lights as well, as you can see. And then this is our food trough, slightly redesigned of what we normally see. We normally see those standard kind of metal grates. This one is kind of stone lined, you know, concrete blocks with a concrete base with some stone blocks around the side of it, or concrete blocks around the side of it. It's a nice little design. I like that. It's a little bit different. It's not what we're used to seeing. And we do have these sort of ventilation grates here to help keep the air moving through the barn so our cows don't melt or overheat. These gates will open, so you can actually drive in here if you want to. Although the trigger point is a little close to this, so you have to really get up close. You move too far away, that's how close you have to be to actually access the gate. You just step back just a touch and can't open the gate at all. So that was, you've got to be quite close to that one there to open it. And now we're into the cows. So you can see here another opening gate that we can open and close if we want to. The actual access point for the cows is ideally, you know, you want to be coming in from the side here. This is kind of the cow area. This pathway through here, which then leads down there into the barn. So ideally you'd be approaching from the other side of this gate. But this is where your dialogue box is. So I'll just close that gate back up again. And there you can see this is where you can purchase direct, or you know, drop off existing cows that you've purchased from the animal dealership. We have a manure pit for our cows in this section just here, and some more broken down, rusted out equipment over here. And our cows, as I say, they kind of walk down through this section. So if we just move around here for a second, as we move around the side of our pig pen, this actually opens up into our pasture for our cows. This is the sort of the grass pasture for them to roll around in. They have a very nice, good sized pasture, as you can see, to move around in. And then just here, this is their grass trough just here. And again, another opening gate if you want to. So plenty of access to get in here. But your cows will then kind of move through this area here, down this system here. They'll get to here, and then we've got a split. So if they come down this way, they're going into the milking parlour. I think. No, actually it's just a separation, isn't it? Just one way in, one way out kind of thing. This gate doesn't open, but you get the feeling that if you wanted to take them in, then you could swing that gate closed across there. And then they could feed into the milking parlour here. Now we do have some static cows in here. You can't actually go inside the parlour, which is perhaps a little bit of a shame, but we do have cows in there as static models, as you can see. We have a few sort of lying around on the ground in here as well, as you can see. And then just here, this is, I believe, the straw tipping box just here for our cows. And then this box that runs along the front here, this will be for our TMR and also possibly for the straw as well. I'm not sure. I think this, you know, we've got a separate box there. That could either be for manure if it's a manual muck out, which it might be. You know, we've seen that before on the Valley of the Old Farm. That was a manual muck out. Then you know, the manure could spawn there, and this could be where we tip the straw, or this could be just where we tip the food and the straw goes over there. So a question that needs to be kind of answered. I don't have an answer for that at this stage because I don't have cows up and running yet, as you can see. We do have a couple of switches. This one here is for the exterior lights mounted just here, as you can see. And then this one here is for the interior lights. There we go. So we have a nice selection of working lights here. And then we have bunkers, and we have 5 of them. There's one of those crop planes I was telling you about there, just whizzing through in the distance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these really big sized bunkers for us to make some silage here at the farm. Now obviously if we're going to go with a big dairy farm theme, we're going to need a lot of cows, which means we're going to need a lot of silage because we're going to need a lot of TMR. And you have 5 bunkers here at the farm. And this is a lot, especially when you consider that there is actually a proper BGA plant somewhere else on this map. But you know, in terms of here, you've got 5 pretty good sized bunkers, so you always be able to make a lot of chaff make a lot of silage, and as a result mix up a lot of TMR as well. And we have this access route around the back of them as well, so it does look as though you can just drive up to the lip here and then tip in at the back to get them started if you want to. Of course, you could just drive in from the front up to the wall and then reverse out or drive out that way. So you have different ways of moving around in here if you want to. I do need to quickly nip back around this way. You can see we've got a nice little calf section just over here. Not calf, sorry, these are goats, I think. Or are they baby cows? It's oh, these are calves, aren't they? Yeah, they're baby cows. Sort of waiting to go into the main farm for the cows themselves. You can see we have another one of these sunken pits here for slurry. This is for the cows themselves, and this gate actually swings out. We don't have one of these sort of hydraulically, mechanically raised up and down gates at the front here. So a slight difference to what we usually see. And then this slurry pit here, this is for our pigs. And this is the slurry point just here, obviously demarked by this checkbox. So it's not that one just there, it's this one just here. And this is some more of our starting equipment. So we have, as I say, our other Agro Star and a Garant Cotter slurry spreader. Nice small piece of equipment there. Let's move on and head back around this way. Oh, I grabbed a random nugget hiding in those bushes there. So as we make our way around this side, this is a very sort of big farm to explore on foot. It's quite spaced out. We have a nice little storage area just here in this shed. No lighting in this one, just a basic wooden frame construction. And then just here we have a case 1455 with a Great Plains cedar. And you can see here we also have a seed silo. This is actually a seed refill point as well. So we have a couple of different silos on the farm where we can actually refill our seed from. It's a really nice little feature that. If we move over here, you can see we have another storage barn. No lighting in this one either. And this is where we have our Varimaster plough just in there. And then we have a little fertilizer shed just here. So this is where we can actually top up, you know, fertilizer spreaders and liquid sprayers and so on and so forth. So we have 2 fertilizer points and 2 seed points on the farm, which is quite unusual to get 2 different sets. But there we go, we have a second fertilizing station just there. And then as we move here, we have our silos. Now, we have 3 million litres of storage on this farm for our silo. It'll hold all of our regular grains and sugarcane, and it'll also hold straw, grass and hay as well. Doesn't hold TMR, doesn't hold wood chips, doesn't hold you know, silage, but it will hold grass, straw and hay. Now I believe, I haven't had any products to test this with, but I believe this is where we tip the grass, straw and hay to go into the silo in this section just here. This is our retrieval pipe just here for our farm silo, and then the actual dump point for our regular grains is hiding behind this door. So here we go, this is where our grains will go in to our main silo. And as I say, 3 million litres of storage. That's an awful lot of storage. So we're just about covered everything on this side of the road. So let's head over the road, making sure we don't get run over, to the second part of our farm. And we have this large sort of placeable area over here. So if you wanted to expand, put in some vehicle storage, or maybe some additional silos, not that you're really going to need to with 3 million litres of storage, but you know, anything that you wanted to drop in here, then you've got some space to do so. Nice series of tanks just there. We've got a fuel point just here. And then as we move around here, you can see we have another one of these BSM American style storage sheds, along with a case 1660 combine and header just there. We have some more of our delivery trucks and a couple of forklifts. I was trying to think what they were for a second then. Forklifts, and also a big sort of wheel loader as well. And of course we can open all these doors, and we have a little seed point in here as well. So there are plenty of places just here at the main farm where we can actually just top up our seeders. As we move around, you can see we are also given a truck with a low loader as part of our starting equipment just here. And that's ours as well, underneath this sort of nice canopied storage area just over there. And then this here is the area for our sheep. So I believe this is the wool spawn point just here. Not 100% certain, but I think so. A bird just flew overhead, just saw the shadow. There it is, look. No, that's a plane. That bird, I didn't see it, but I saw the shadow whiz over my head there. That was kind of cool. Yeah, this is our sheep farm just here. So again, we have a water trough for our sheep just here. There's another one of those planes. We open the gates up. We have a light switch that we can toggle for inside here as well. Again, we have this sort of checkbox, and I'm really not sure. I think this is the main food trough in here. I don't, again, have any product to test, but I believe this might be the food trough for our sheep. And then we also have this kind of raised area around the back here that just seem a little odd because you have to go through the shed to access it, and I'm not quite sure what you would store out here. So if anyone knows, please do let me know in the comments. I am genuinely curious about that. I wonder if there's a nugget hiding up here. We have access to the roof. It does not appear to be so. Now the dialogue box for the sheep is here at this gate. So this is where we can actually purchase our sheep, or, as I say, drop them off if we've purchased them manually. But it's not marked, but it's this gate here. You've got to be quite close, as you can see, to the gate. And as you move away, you kind of lose it. But there we go. That is the second half of our farm over here. So it's time for us to get into a vehicle and do a little exploring. Now I'm going to grab the truck that we have down the side of the house, and we're going to take a little bit of a tour. I haven't shown you the sort of full location of the map yet, so we'll do that in just a second once I get to the truck. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the chickens, because the chickens on this map are amazing. Then we're going to go to the sawmill, then we're going to loop back around, go to Horse's Farm and the animal dealership, carry along the bottom to Mother Earth and the spinnery, up the side on the right, go look at the egg cell point and grains towers. We'll cut back and see where Field 29 is. That's our secondary farm location if we want it. And then we'll take a look at the dealership and the grain sell point, and finally finish off at the BGA. That's kind of the tour. So let me just jump in here and actually pull the actual map up proper. You can see we do start with 3 fields just here, 26, 27, 28, and then this large grass field just here, 42. And there is also a very small little pizza wedge kind of shaped field just here, field 29. It's a tiny little field, but we own that as well, and that's because we have, as I say, a secondary farm location just here. We'll get to that in just a moment, but first I really want to show you these chickens, because these chickens are absolutely amazing. It's the nicest chicken coop I've ever seen on any farm, and it's literally just around the corner, just over this little sort of brook, sort of dried out brook here. So as we pull up to here, we walk in and we've got this big open area here, which just seems completely underwhelming. And then we open up here and we have this incredible chicken farm in here. Now our chickens are all sort of sitting in these bays laying eggs. As you can see, they've got the ramps for them to go up. They sit there on the grates. The eggs are laid. They roll underneath those wooden dividers, and we can pick them up from the other side. There is a nugget there. Do we have any eggs to pick up just yet? It doesn't look like it. I was hoping there would be an egg by now, but there isn't. So maybe we'll come back and we'll check out the eggs along there a little bit later. But we've got a couple of these, as you can see. We've got another one along... Oh, there we go. There's an egg. So you can grab your eggs from along here. I love this. This is such a cool feature. This is something I've really wanted us to see. Chicken sticking its arse out the back there. This is something I've wanted to see, this kind of operation for chickens for so long, even though we can't do it. And this is the other thing. Look, we have chicks. We have chicks just running around. It's, I mean, they're just a static model of 3 that on an automatic kind of track path that they just move around on. But how cool is this? We have chicks that move around inside our chicken coop. I really wish that chickens were so much more vital in the game, or had a much bigger part to play in the game than they do at the moment, because they are just so pointless. You get so few eggs a day, you can't add to the number of chickens. You know, we've got this wonderful sort of chicken plant here, and we can't do anything with it, really. It's such a shame. It really is. We can't add any more chickens in. We can't get a large volume of eggs. You know, it's a wonderful feature, and we're going to be here so infrequently that it's going to get left and ignored. It's such a shame. But I love those chickens. That's amazing. You can see they have some free range areas out the back as well. More chicks just moving around. As you can see, I can see at least 5 groups of chicks running around out the back there. Wonderful little egg farm, little chicken farm there. And then just over the other side here, you can see we've got another little sort of disused kind of animal area over here. You can see that there are other cows in the area. These are obviously static. This is sort of a barn owned by another farmer. We can buy the land, but then we can use this area, but just some static cows. But actually, I do kind of like the fact that we do have, if I just pop up on the roof, I do kind of like the fact that, considering this is a dairy map, we do have fields, more than one field, with cows in them. Yes, they're static, but it kind of just adds to the whole character of this is a dairy region, so you would expect to see dairy in more than one field. So in a way, you know, I know there are a lot of people that don't like static animals. I don't mind static animals. I think they help to bring life to the map. And in situations like that, yeah, I think this is the perfect use of static animals. I really do. So from here, we're going to take this side road, and then we're going to swing a left just here. And we're going to head over to the sawmill. Now, there is actually, you can just see on the mini-map, there are some little brown pathways running through this forest area here. That is a whole forest area for us to work around in. When you can see, again, there goes a forest dirt track off on the other side, which then runs down the side of Field 7. We're not going to go exploring through there because we just don't have time, but here we are at the sawmill, and I love we've got this kind of big expanded turning area at the front here for large vehicles. That's going to make it really handy when you've got a big 70,000 litre trailer with wood chips that you're trying to bring in. And this is an incredible sawmill. So much detail in this place. It does suffer from frame rate drag, lag in a few places. And I'm on a Pro, so it could be worse on a regular PS4 or a standard Xbox. It's entirely possible. But you can see we've got these pallets and pallets and pallets of wood just kind of stacked around here. And if we move around here, we've got all this different type of lumber in different widths, different sizes, different thicknesses, all stacked up on these pallets. There's a nugget in here as well. And then as we move around here, this feels so much like a proper sawmill business, or a lumber business. We've got trucks parked up, we've got forklifts, we've got wheel loaders, we've got an old tractor parked up over there. We're going to explore on foot. We've got a weighbridge just there, and you can see we are getting a little bit of frame rate judder in places. And then we have our big wood chip sell point, and it's not just a single pile, it's a mountain of wood chips. Look at how many wood chips are here as a static prop. This feels like a really heavily used lumber mill, with so much wood that's being processed and wood chips that are being brought in and sold off. It really does feel like a huge business. More props around the side. We've got a water tower there by the look of it. And as we swing around here, there is the access road that goes off into the forest and then starts to split up into various different places. So that's our little forestry track. And then as we come around here, this is the rest of the sawmill. There's no lumber pond, no mill pond, but there is this big cell box just here. And I say big, it goes all the way back to here. And this is our log sell point just here. Absolutely massive. And we also have, dotted over here, a FS17 static model, so we can't obviously interact with this, but we have this really pretty detailed 716 just here. It actually looks pretty good. Obviously the windscreens are blacked out, but that's pretty nice. I mean, we've seen some pretty low res vehicles, you know, pop in the past, and that one actually looks really, really nice. And it's a bit of a theme. You'll start spotting 716s all over the map. On this map, there are a lot of them. But again, they add a bit of life and a bit of character to the map. So this is one of the maps, you know, probably one of the best maps I've seen that uses static props to, you know, like static vehicle props to bring life and character to a map. It really does the job of that very, very well. But as you can see, in some areas it does cause the map to suffer with a dodgy frame rate as a result. That's unfortunately just something that's a little unavoidable. So now we're going to loop down here, and this is where we've got a little bit of artistic license with this map, because this is slightly rewriting the actual land in this area. If you want to see what this actually looks like, then what I'll do towards the end is I'll pop up a side-by-side comparison. Assuming I don't get nicked by the police. Yeah, we'll do a side-by-side comparison of a Google Earth shot and the actual map itself, so you can see side-by-side where some of the artistic license has been taken. But we're going to swing down here now, and again, this section is a little bit recreated as well. Obviously, we've had to put some businesses in here, and this road has been redesigned ever so slightly. It's not a sharp 90-degree turn like this. A little field access there. And here we go. This is a nice little business area. This is Horse Farm. So if we swing in here first of all, just park the truck here. We have our barn just here. So this is our sell point for straw, grass, hay bales, and so on and so forth. And then as we move around the back here, this is Horse Farm itself, and this is a manure sell point. So you can sell your manure there, and then obviously all your bale work or loose materials just there. And if we move around, you can see we have another one of these 716s, and these are big. These 716s, they're very big. Another wheel loader. But we also have a broken down tractor, we have a cement mixer, there's another crop dusting plane there, and we have some static horses, because it is Horse Farm. So you've got to have some static horses. And there we go. That is this section here. Obviously you can open that gate if you want to. We're going to cut through the barn, get back in our truck and move round a little bit further. So as we just drive down here, now we come to Emerson's livestock market, and this is a really nice layout. I love this. And remember what I was saying, how it uses static model props? Just seeing somebody just coming out of the building there, which is really cool. They just kind of spawn through this area. So it looks like it is a genuine business with people coming and going. It's a really nice touch. But there's another one there, look, coming through. But this is what I love. We've got these, admittedly very old and tatty animal trailers, but we have these animal trailers here parked up around the side. A selection of vehicles, and again, some more South Mountain Creamery trucks, just in case you forget the name of the map. A load more animal trailers around here, as you can see. And then we have some animal pens. And this is where it gets a little bit weird with the collisions, as you can see. So I'll jump up on the porta potty a second. So you can see we have some cows and some static horses. They are sort of the animals in these pens over here. And you can see the people do actually go off and move around through the pens a little bit as well, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I really like this livestock market. I love this use of these static animal trailers, these transport trailers. That is a really, really nice touch, and I really do appreciate that. And we've got this little town scene over here. Now, there is actually a little built-up area in this area. Obviously, there is no livestock market that I'm aware of, and it has been reworked ever so slightly. But it does kind of, as I say, have to be reworked just for the purposes of bringing in some game mechanics. And then over here, as that crop duster goes over again, you can see we've got this area under construction. So we've got a couple of wheel loaders over here, got a skip, got this building that is being worked on. You have to kind of jump to get into it, and once you get up here, you've got a nugget up there. I'm going to grab that one, and then there are also nuggets in here as well. So if you come down here, you've got a nugget over there, and there's another nugget just there as well. And there's actually a lot of nuggets in this location, this whole sort of lower section around from Horse Farm over to here, and the houses in between. There's quite a few nuggets piled up around this area. You can see we've got some foundation work here and another building in the early stages of construction. So a nice little scenic area, and then we've got a little dozer just there as well. So again, some really nice scenic touches that have been added into this map. So let's zoom out a little bit now, try and give you a wider shot of the map as we move along here. This again is where we have a little bit more artistic license. This river does not exist in this in this part of Middletown. It's just not here, but you know, it's a nice little scenic feature, and you know, it plays the map quite nicely. So as I say, some of this map is a very accurate representation, or as close to an accurate representation as is possible. Others have been tweaked a little bit, and others have been completely changed just to fit the style of the game and the style of the map. But we have a nice little fuel point just here. This groovy gasoline petrol station over here. And we've got a little town scene just over here as well. So if we make our way down here, you can see here we've got a Morgan's Massive Motors. This is just a building. That's not actually our vehicle dealership. We'll find that on the opposite side of the map a little bit later. And as we swing around here, this is another one of our sell points. This is Mother Earth, and this is our root crop storage point. So this is where we can sell our beets and our potatoes. And then there is a cash point lurking somewhere in the middle of all these buildings. And then just here we have our spinnery. So again, we can drive in the back here, and there is the access point, our sell point for our wool. So a nice little town scene that's built up over here. So from here we're going to head north. We're going to go on this side road up here. Again, we're going to cross over this fictional water body, which doesn't really exist here. And we're going to kind of loop around through these fields. We've got another forestry area just here, as you can see. An awful lot of trees in there. And the terrain in there, you know, kind of changes quite rapidly as well. You've got some very steep little climbs and some very deep little troughs in there. So it's not something you could just deforest and immediately turn into a big field. That ground is really uneven in there. But it's a nice little scenic feature, and you can see we've got this kind of really nice country road as we weave our way through, and then come back out to open territory again with these big fields either side. We have a little town scene here, and if we go left we will come to our secondary farm location, but we're actually going to swing right first of all. We'll come back through here in a moment, because we have a couple of sell points just over here that I want to show you as well. So we make our way around here. This is a very, very pretty map in terms of its location and the way everything kind of flows. It just really does feel nice. As I say, some of it's genuine, some of it's made up, but it doesn't feel made up in some of the made up places, if that kind of makes sense. It all feels like it flows very naturally. Which is, if you hadn't seen the actual location, you wouldn't really know exactly what was genuine and what wasn't. You can see we've got a nice little water feature just here, a little boating park. You can see there's a little boating area just over there, with a car parked up alongside the jetty as well. Obviously this is a fake area because there is no water, but it's a nice little touch. And then if we come through here, this is actually the entry point here to this sell point. So you drive in here, and you follow it around, you go over the weighbridge, and again we've got this nice kind of feel to this place with the white lines and the parking bays with traffic, you know, parked in them. Another one of our home delivery trucks there. We've got some skips, some buildings here which we can't interact with. Those are doors that will not open. And then we come to the actual sell point itself. There is a seed point around here somewhere as well. I think I might have walked straight past it. We'll look for that again in a second. And then we can just drive in here and we can actually tip our grains. Where is that seed point? I must have walked straight past it without realising. Or am I mixing it up with a different... I think I'm mixing it up actually with a different sell point. Yeah, I must be. So yeah, there we go. That is Grains Towers, which is the sort of one of our two main grain sell points on this map. And this is the border of the map. So from here, you can see it gets very dark on the edges of the map. If I try and back up, that's as far as we can go. So the bridge, is the cut-off point. We can't go past there at all. Now if we move along here, you can see we do have another sell point marked. Now there is a very, very tight little access road here, but this is actually just an egg sell point. It's just marked on the map as eggs, as you can see. And if we just walk around the back, there you can see there is the egg sell point. We've got these eggs in these boxes here. It's a nice little scenic area just here. And if you decide you want to mess around with the chickens, in the sense of actually running the chicken farm, not messing around with chickens, don't do that. Then you've got a nice little scenic area there where you can actually sell those eggs off as well. So now we're heading along here. We're going to swing a left just here, because this is our secondary farm location. So if we swing in just through here, is this the one? No, I've turned off too early. I approached it from the other side last time and I got my turnings mixed up. There's another one of our home delivery trucks making a delivery. Here we go. This is the access road just here to the secondary farm location, should you choose to run a second farm. Or if you just want to start here and not run at the main yard. So we have a barn sell point here. We have a fertilizer trigger point just here. And then obviously we've got some storage, as you can see. A couple of different storage buildings. There's our seed tower, so we can get our seed. We also have a fuel tank just here. And then as we swing around, there's a little bit of lag around this area, as you can see. Got some scenic bales dotted around, and there's the other side of the barn. There's no silo at this location, so if you wanted to run a small farm out of here, you would need to put in some kind of silo somewhere. If you wanted to avoid using the main farm until you had enough money to sort of move into that location. It's entirely up to you how you want to do that. And there's that tiny little pizza wedge shaped field that I was telling you about, field 29. That is a genuine field that we own, field 29. So let's move now up towards the dealership, which is back up to the main road and then across on the other side of the junction. And this is where things start to get a little bit special again. First off, we have this large placeable area just here, so we can drive in opposite the dealership, and we have this big open flat area, so you could construct anything you wanted up here. You could drop in some sell points and turn this into a big sell area where you could put in, say, a manure sell point. You could even put the brand new manure buy point in here. You've got the slurry trader mod that you could drop in here, the mill. There's the wood chips and wood sell points that you can also drop in there. You could turn this into a farm if you wanted to. You could turn it into a vehicle storage bay, whatever you wanted. And then this is the run up to the dealership, and I love this. We've got these sort of flagged symbols on the side, and then we have a series of fence all parked on the side of the road. This map would actually work really well for Fent Farm. It's just a shame I haven't got time to do that, but I might live stream some Fent Farm from this location. We'll have to see. And these are all Fent 716s. They're all exactly the same model. This one, as you can see, has been sold, I think. Or it's indicative that there is a sale. And this store is absolutely brilliant. I love this. This is my favourite store outside of Manning's because of the way it's laid out and the way it's presented. Manning's is still my favourite, but this is a very, very second close. So we go into the sales office just here. And we've got, I love this, rows and rows of equipment on shelves. Just small bits of tools and equipment. So you can see we've got some belt sanders just here, some cutting saws, some fuel cans, jerry cans, strimmers, leaf blowers, chainsaws, lawn mowers, pallets, pallet lifters, bikes, jacks, and some compressors. There's a whole selection of different tools and stuff over here. And then as we move along, we've got our store interaction point just here. And then if I move out along here, you can see again we've got another 716 on display. It's amazing the number of 716s that are on this map. And then we have our parts and services bay just over here, and you can see we have this just here. Now this is like a bit of an odd place to put one of these. Why would you put this inside the middle of the shop when there's no access? Well, the reason is because if you go around the back, that is where you actually access. And this is a feature that I really like as a concept. So you have the bay just around here where you've got these two sort of side bays. Now these doors unfortunately don't open, which is a bit of a shame. It would have been quite nice to get those to open. But you park it in that bay and then you come around in through here. And now you can configure the vehicle and do whatever you need to do to it. So you can change the colour, change the wheels, change the rims, etc. Upgrade the engine, whatever you want to do to whatever piece of equipment it is. But that's how you do it. You drop it off and you come back in and you configure it inside the shop. That's a really, really clever little idea. It's not been done like that before. I really like it. It's a really, really nice little concept. And then around the back you can see we've got more sort of bays, more sort of boxes of equipment and tools. We've got another forklift, a broken down tractor over here. Little play area for some kids backing onto a little communal area over there. Some trailers and some more fence. And you can see this beast here. Is this something different? No, it's a 716. They're all 716s on this map. And then we've got some industrial equipment over here as well. So we've got some bulldozers, and we've got some more wheel loaders and some more forklifts. It's just a really, really nice kind of feel to this location. And then this is also where our equipment's going to spawn at the start of this kind of dirt area just here. So your equipment will spawn here, and if you need to reset your equipment, it actually resets back to the main farm in this sort of placeable area that we had next to the fuel tank, back on the opposite side of the road. This is where your equipment will reset to if you have to reset it. So I love this store. As I say, it's big, it's huge. And I love the concept of it. It's just, Manning's is just that little bit more special for me. But I mean, this is still a fantastic storefront. And in some ways, it's better than Manning's. In other ways, Manning's is a little bit better. It's a really tough one for me to call. But yeah, I love them both. Both fantastic storefronts. And then as we head along here, we just have two locations left to look at. We have our second main sell point, which is just here. This is the one with the sea tank. There it is, look. That's what I was getting confused with earlier. There's the sea tank there. Here's the sell point itself. You drive up, tip, and drive out again. And then around the back we have some parking bays and nothing else really. So you have this nice little scenic sell point just over here. There is only one way in and out, which is perhaps a bit of a shame. Well, sorry, there is a way out over here. I forgot about this one. We've got a weighbridge on this side of the exit as well. And then if we cut down here, you can actually see that those trucks that we send out on home delivery do actually drive around on the map, which is really, really cool. And I thought they were all static, but you do actually see them driving around from, you know, on certain bits of the route, which makes sense. They're home delivery trucks. You'd expect to see them out on deliveries. And this is the final location. This is the BGA. And again, it's a really nice laid out BGA. So we have two of these really, really big bunkers. You'll get so much chaff in these. I dread to think how much it would take to fill both of these. You know, millions upon millions upon millions of litres. I reckon you're probably looking at around 5 million litres per bunker. So you're looking at maybe 10 million litres in total to fill both of those. That's a lot of chaff. Around the side there is our digestate tank. You can see we've got the access point just here. We have a little bit of storage, so if you want to bring wheel loaders and other equipment up here, then you can do. We've got a fuel point just here as well, which is great. Don't often get fuel points at BGAs anymore. And then as we move around here, we have the shredder. And this has a controllable ramp, and the ramp, it doesn't open all the way up. It opens as much as you hold the button down, and it opens really steep as well. So if I only wanted the ramp to go to, say, there, then I could stop it there. If I wanted to keep going, I can keep going, and it goes up and up and up and up. It is huge in terms of the angle that it can give you. And there we go, it's fully maxed out. So it becomes quite steep, as you can see, but it does allow us to drive all the way up with any kind of trailer and tip into there as well. So if you want to bring trailers and sell with trailers, you can do. Obviously, if you want to do something like conveyor belts, or if you want to do a wheel loader with a bucket, then you've got that option as well. But yeah, you do have this really, really steep ramp which you can drive up and tip your trailer all the way in, just like that. So there we go. That is South Mountain Creamery. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to very quickly pop up a side-by-side shot. So that is the map itself that we have in game. There's a lot of sort of fields around the side that are kind of scenic. You can see they have no numbers, but they're in the grayed off section, so there's no access to these fields. Everything that's sort of light in the middle bit is stuff that we can access, and everything that's darker around the edges, that's stuff that we can't go into. That's areas that have been boarded off. So there's a lot of fields there that are there to help give you a sort of a dynamic background, a dynamic border to your map, but you can't access those, you can't work that land in any way. And here is a side-by-side of the genuine location, so you can see where the actual farm itself is, and that sort of wiggly line field where we've got fields 27, 28 and 20 and 26. You can get a feel for that, and then you can kind of see where certain areas are start to get changed a little bit. You know, sort of around this location here, things change a little bit. It's kind of rounded off, so it should come around here and sort of around like that. And then this area is very heavily edited because this water just isn't here. And then you can see that this road does actually go up this way a little bit here. We do have a few buildings, a few houses off the side, but the field layouts have changed a little bit. And obviously this area, well, this is all forest in real life, but this area around here has changed a little bit. So a little bit of artistic license has changed, but it's based on genuine location, as I say, in Middletown in Maryland. Where it can, it's stayed very faithful to that, and where it needs to for the game purposes, it's changed, you know, the fields or the road layout a little bit, and obviously dropped in the businesses that need to be dropped in for gameplay purposes as well. So it's a very nice looking map. And I did say that I'd show you the nuggets. So this is your last chance. If you don't want to know where the nuggets are, look away now. We're going to grab the last nugget and pop where they are. So we know that there are nuggets over here, which I didn't collect. So we're going to jump into the construction project that's going on over here and grab the last nugget we need to pop the rest of them on the map. We drop down here. And there we go. That's 10 gold nuggets. So you can see we have a little cluster in this area here, as you can see. There's a massive cluster in our little town scene over here, where we've got Mother Earth, which is the root crop sell point. Then we've got our fake dealership of Morgan's Massive Motors. Our spinnery is over here, and our gas station. A large cluster of nuggets in that location there. We've got a few up here by these sell points and along this road, as you can see, and then there's a large number of nuggets sort of around our farm location just here, and then a few dotted around in other random locations, as you can see, but most of them are clustered in certain points. So along that top road by the sell points, down in the bottom right corner by Mother Earth, there's a huge gaggle of nuggets down there. Here at Horse's Farm in this little town area, and then at the main farm, they are the main sort of clusters of nuggets. So there we go. That is South Mountain Creamery, a genuine location that has been adapted and turned it into a map for us to play on. I'm really looking forward to messing around with this, and I'm hoping to do some live streaming on this. I still need to kind of figure out exactly what level I want to jump in at and what equipment I want to run. I might go with Fent and do a sort of a periodical Fent farm live stream from this location, given that it's a massive Fent dealership. But yeah, it's a great map. I love it. It suffers from frame rate issues in a few places, and depending on what console you're using, those could be worse than what you've seen on this video, because I am running a PS4 Pro. So that is something to be wary of. But there's a lot of trees on this map, so you can maybe cut down some trees, do a little bit of logging, and that'll help to clear your frame rates up a bit. You just need to be careful on some areas where there's a lot of placeables. It really does add so much character to the map to have all these placeables and all these scenic props and vehicles sort of scattered around like this, but it does unfortunately have a little bit of a negative effect on your frame rate performance as well. So you can't have it both ways. You know, we can either have a really beautiful map with loads and loads of scenic detail, or we can have a map with beautiful frame rates and very little detail on this kind of scale. We have to kind of find that balancing act, and this is pretty close. As I say, it's not quite perfect in terms of the balance. We do have some frame issues. See another plane whizzing overhead. Perhaps we could do without the planes. Maybe that would improve the frame rate. I don't know if that's a contributing factor or not, but it's a very pretty map. I love this. So I'm going to jump off as the ice cream truck has pulled up outside my house. I'm going to disappear. I'm going to go grab an ice cream. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to have a little bit of a play around here on South Mountain Creamery. Thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob, and I'll be back with another map tour very soon.